Yo guys, Cheeky here, and welcome back to the channel. And more importantly, welcome back to the second video in my Kazuya Counterplay series. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, I'd highly recommend you check it out because it covers a lot of very important topics that won't be covered in this video. And before we get into the rest of the video, most people just click off smaller channels such as this one, but if you're enjoying the content and want to hang around and support the channel, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. And as per usual, I have my input viewer right over here so you can see my inputs at all times. So without further ado, let's get into it. So today we're going to be discussing multiple characters' interactions with platforms against Kazuya's EWGF. For example, when you get hit by electric, you can DI out onto a platform, you can DI out off a platform, you can DI in off a platform, or you can DI in on a platform. And you can mix up any of these options along with any tech options such as no tech, tech roll in, tech roll out, or neutral tech. You can also do no DI, but that's a little bit difficult to pull off because when you get hit by electric, you're most likely already inputting a directional input. However though, if you DI up, you get a similar effect. So that's great and all, but what does this information gain us? As you might know, Kazuya has this instant double jump nair, which is called the FERPS tech, and that allows you to cover any tech option with one input. Well, not exactly. This is where various tech options and DI options come into play, so let's go to PS2 here quickly for an example of that. Terry's positioned like this, and he rolls, I catch his tech. It doesn't matter which direction he rolls, it still catches the tech. But what if Terry just didn't tech here? Then when I try to do it, I'm a little bit too late. It's still possible, but the timing becomes very strict, and you have to jump perfectly on the height of the platform to get it. So this is a visualizer for both PS2 and Small Battlefield, and the reason why this is so important is, as you can see, this blue platform right here is Small Battlefield, and this orange one right above it is PS2. And it may not seem like much just right here, but that actually makes a massive difference. Some characters like Wolf, this is completely impossible because of how quickly he falls after hitting the platform. Small Battlefield, however, is quite a bit easier because the platform is much lower. However, Kazuya players can just avoid that by crouch jabbing instead, but that's when you can mix up your options. If he does neutral tech, he gets a jab out before I can get a crouch jab out. So what you want to do with this information is just understand your opponent and understand what option they prefer to go for and what situation they like to go for it, and then react accordingly. You can see that Wolf has plenty of time to roll away, roll in, it doesn't matter what he does, he can get away from the crouch jab there. But you always want to be very careful that you go for this instead. So, as a player, you want to learn which one of your character's tech options works the best depending on the scenario. As you can see, I can catch Bowser's no tech with a Demon God Fist. But if I try to do a crouch jab in that same scenario, it doesn't work because he has Tough Guy. So, since Bowser's tech options are terrible, I can easily catch him on the platform, no matter which way he rolls. But if he has a neutral tech, timing is much tighter and possible still, but a lot more difficult. Another thing that's very important to think about when DIing Kazuya combos is your percent, the opponent's percent, and your weight. For example, if Kirby's at 0% and I'm at 0%, he goes decently high and lands on the platform. But now, if Kirby's at 100%, he'll go quite a bit higher, as you can see there. And as I mentioned, this also scales with Kazuya's percent as well. So as you can see, Kirby goes much higher now. For this next segment, we're going to be talking about two other very important tournament legal stages that you might want to take Kazuya to, and that is Smashville, which is right here with the blue, and Hollow Bastion, which is here with the red. Now that we're on Bastion here, you can see that Terry has a lot more places that he can roll, tech roll to, than he would if he was on Small Battlefield or Battlefield. And the reason why this is so important is because if you're on Small Battlefield and you tech roll, you will roll into the side of the platform, and that's what makes the first tech work. The fact that you're rolling into the platform But there's a lot more room on the Hollow Bastion platform, so if I try to do the same thing, he just rolls out of range of the Demon Godfist. So, what Kazuya's have been doing is this side beat, first second to a side beat, where you can still crumple him like that. But at that point, you can just tech roll in, like that. And as you can see, Terry was actionable far before I was. He was already rolling back in before I could act. So you can easily get off a minimum of a jab before Kazuya can act again after that side beat. You don't want to get too obvious with this though, because the Kazuya can still just hard read your tech option. Also, if you're just blatantly DIing in a direction like that, the Kazuya can still follow up with the normal FERP's tech. But that's why you'd want to DI like this to give yourself more room to tech roll out. You can just DI in and then tech roll out like so. The one drawback of taking Kazuya to stages like Hollow Bastion and Smashville is that the edges are very long and flat, meaning that you're basically playing on FD for part of the game. So option select still does work. But that just means that it's very important to maintain stage control, because that means that you can still mix up your DI like this. Another way to counter the FERP's tech for bigger characters such as Rob and DK is to DI into Kazuya's nair. Obviously you're getting hit for it, but that's better than getting reset into death. Do be careful though, because at lower percent it can still true combo. This can really mess with the Kazuya if they space wrong, and you can even punish him for it. Learning the Kazuya matchup is generally very difficult to do, but once you learn how to use your character's options best to escape Kazuya's combos, he becomes a lot less threatening. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to leave a like and maybe subscribe. And if you learned something new, maybe turn on notifications to catch my next Kazuya counterplay video. But now, if Kirby's 100%,